The ruling means an estimated 4 million people living in the U.S. illegally who are eligible for DAPA, or Deferred Action for Parents and Lawful Permanent Residence program, remain in legal limbo and are subject to deportation. 26 states sued the U.S. government to stop the program from moving forward. Joining me with an update are Ev Mead, director of the Transborder Institute at the University of San Diego, and immigration and naturalization attorney Lilia Velasquez. And Ev, today's court ruling was specifically, or Tuesday's, I should say, court ruling was specifically focused on whether or not to lift the stay on President Obama's executive action on immigration. What did the court find?
That's right. So the court upheld the injunction, which basically puts the president's executive actions on indefinite hold. The court found that basically that this should not count as prosecutorial discretion, that the federal government is forcing the states in question, particularly Texas, to either incur costs or change the policies, and they found that the government doesn't have a right to a stay of an injunction.
Now, the 26 states in the lawsuit are, for those reasons, are opposed to moving forward on this plan. 17 states are in agreement with it. What are the claims in the lawsuit specifically?
The claims in the lawsuit, the biggest claim is the costs that the states are going to have to incur. And the one they keep citing over and over again is the driver's license policy in the state of Texas. The problem is that, as the government points out, is that they're weighing one very specific cost in Texas, but they're not considering the broader economic impact of the plan. So they consider the cost of giving the driver's licenses, but not the decrease in the cost of auto insurance or vehicle registration fees, or the impact on the economy. I mean, there are estimates right now that say over 10 years this could contribute $260 billion to U.S. GDP. That's a lot, or $20 billion over the next 5 years just to our tax roll. So that stuff doesn't count in this lawsuit, or hasn't counted so far.
Okay, and Lilia, the lawsuit challenges the president's DAPA program and an expanded version of the DACA, or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. Remind us of how those programs are supposed to work, what they're intended for.
Well, the expanded DACA was really to provide dreamers with another opportunity to apply by removing the age limit, that it should be 31 as of the date that the measure was adopted, and also the moving forward the entry date. Before, they have to have entered before June of 2007. Now they move it to January 1st of 2010, making more people eligible for DACA. In terms of the DAPA, that was the big one. That was for the parents who have U.S. citizen children, regardless of age, who are either U.S. citizens or have permanent legal status, and who enter before January 1st of 2010. And it will be the same benefit as the DACA folks. They would get deferred action, which means their deportation will be deferred. They would get a work permit. They can travel within the U.S. So it was a big thing for our community when you consider the lack of legalization.
So that's what it was intended to do. Now with this stay, what's happened now? What's the impact been on people who would have been eligible for these programs in San Diego?
The impact has been devastating. I mean, on all of us, on the clients who keep calling, is it over? And I said, no, it's not over. We're not ready to throw in the towel. We need to continue fighting. But I have been talking to those clients through their DACA kids when they brought them over. You know, let's be patient. You will qualify. You seem to meet the guidelines. And so they're calling me and say, so what do we do now?
Because this could divide families, right? You have a case that has 2 children who would be eligible.
I have many cases, but typically mom and dad have no documents. 2 kids were born in the U.S. 2 have DACA status. So if mom and dad get arrested, what happens to that family? They have to go home and take with them their U.S. citizen kids, and the kids with DACA who cannot travel, would they be able to stay here? So it really has complicated their lives, and it's very sad just to see the anguish that they, after hearing the news.
And Ev, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals will hear arguments at the heart of this case beginning in July, I understand. Will we have to wait until then for more, or could there be some action before then to take care of these people in San Diego?
I think, unfortunately, we'll have to wait until the merits hearing, and if that goes against the government, then we'll have to wait for a lengthy appeals process after that.
Do you have any indication of which direction this is going to go?
Well, the court in upholding the injunction today said that they thought the government's case was likely to lose on the merits. I was a little bit surprised by that, having seen the initial injunction written by the judge, which seemed to be a little bit out of left field. But if that's the indication, then this is something that will involve a lengthy appeals process.
All right, we will keep following it. Eb Mead and Lilia Velasquez, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.